Hey guys, welcome back. Let's talk Friday Night Lights. Two games in college football before we kick off an exciting, a high implication weekend as well for the college football playoff. Let's get into the two games tonight. We do have one out in the ACC as well as a little West Coast action there between UNLV and Hawaii. Talk about some Rainbow Warriors and get you guys going into your Friday night and evening. Okay, so for those of you that do not know me, if you found my channel, great. My name is Mark. This is the Better Mark, TBM Sports, whatever you want to call it. Welcome. Make sure you all like, comment, and subscribe down below. Don't have any official plays for these two games tonight, but I do have some breakdowns, analysis, and I will tell you guys my leans, but no official plays, nothing I'm putting money to paper here for a ticket tonight, but I do want to talk about them because I do think there are some angles. So let's get it. Let's talk some college football. First game at 8 o'clock here. We do have Florida State and NC State. Both teams 5-5. Absolutely atrocious in a atrocious ACC conference. And one thing about Florida State, though, and Mike Norvell and company, kind of shocking that it's even still able to coach that team. Cannot understand, honestly, what Florida State and just their resources, where they're in the position that they are right now. Okay, just 5-5 Florida State just kind of sounds funky, if you ask me, and just something for that program's the echelon of that program. I just don't understand how any coach or players and just roster you can assemble can be 5-5, especially with the run that they were on. He was doing a good job, but now looking at them traveling on the road to take on the NC State Wolfpack, this is something, guys, where if this game had some playoff implications, it would be worth betting for me. I think that one thing to talk about here, as we do want to get into this breakdown, is NC State has been that team that kind of, in some form or fashion, has been that team playing the upset team, okay? And not much going on in that department as of late, because we did see Miami, Notre Dame pretty much run circles around them. Pitt put up 50-plus points. Their defense just does not have it. And NC State historically has always been a good defensive team in the ACC. Very tough and stiff defense to go against. And now they kind of just don't have any personnel. It's almost a, we're going to try to just hold you to a field goal and let you move the football on us. And I think that's kind of why we've seen this number move, as Florida State was a short favorite and now bet up to 6.5. And I think that number will continue to move. And I think that you will have to lay a touchdown with Florida State. So no closing line value. You're getting the worst of the number. The only thing that would lend me towards taking NC State in this game is if you have the inclination, okay, that NC State, or I'm sorry, that Florida State's just basically, they're waving the white towel. I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of young underclassmen that are going to be making some noise here. I think NC State has a lot of injuries on their side, on both sides of the ball. And as we do look at Florida State, though, traveling on the road, one thing to note, they are 0-3 ATS on the road here. As they do look to potentially cover a 6.5-point spread. So for me, guys, in my money, this number has so much movement, 2.5 up to 6.5. I'm not going to go chasing it. I think that this is a very blowout potential kind of game. I won't get involved with this because, like I said, NC State, they just essentially had their way when they did take down We're not take down, but they did play them close. They did win against Georgia Tech. I'm sorry, 48-36. That kind of derailed the Georgia Tech aspirations. Just crazy. Just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about them as a playoff team. Okay. But in this spot, I think the one thing to talk about, though, is just essentially you can look at the weapons for NC State. I think that they do have the propensity to move the football a little bit more than Florida State, but they just don't play a lick of defense, okay? I don't want to get involved with this. I don't want to go chasing a 2.5 up to a 6.5. If anything, if this number did flip and go over the key number of 7, potentially might look for a sneaky play on the Wolfpack at +7, +7.5. But just the defense is not there. It's absolutely atrocious. And I think that as you talk about some of the numbers here, okay, beating Virginia 34-31, okay, beating Georgia Tech at an upset, and then also you can look at kind of how they fared against Duke, Miami, Virginia Tech. The list goes on and on. Just some duds, if you will, some horrible games that NC State has played in. So this is something where I think that you look into it. This game does have margin. I just don't trust Florida State, don't trust them on the road, and I don't want to lay it with NC State taking a bad number, but if this number did go over 7, I might entertain it. I also do kind of have a little bit of a lean towards the over. I think NC State will be able to score on Florida State at will, and I think, like I said, Florida State does not play, NC State does not play a lick of defense, so I don't think there's any reason why Florida State cannot find themselves getting into the 30s here in this contest. Okay, so I do think this game does have the over potential written all over it, as well as potentially a blowout for Florida State. But I think, like I talked about, I do have a lean towards that 7 if we ever do reach that number. Okay, no play for me. And then we're going to get into that next game, Hawaii and UNLV. All right, the Rainbow Warriors plus 122 on the money line. Okay, that's going to be very, very intriguing as we do look at what we have going on here. And I think that as you talk about Hawaii 7-3 on the season, okay, and that's kind of where we look into Timmy Chang. Absolutely an impressive job what he's able to do with his alma mater, and I think that this is something where, as you talk about the recent game played by Hawaii, that for me is the biggest indicator of kind of what to look for here in this spot. They held San Diego State. Okay, they held San Diego State to a very low number here, and that is a very convincing win, as they did beat them 38-6. And I think that San Diego State, if my memory serves me correctly, is the best defense in their conference. A couple bad losses, obviously. San Jose State giving up 45 points there in the game prior. That was kind of a dud, but outside of that, guys, they're taking care of business, and they did have a 40, obviously some higher scoring games. That's why the total set into the 60s. You can see a lot of that money impacting the over 85% of the handle, albeit 51% of the bets, over 63.5. I do lend towards the over as well in this spot as well, but I also like Hawaii. Okay, so if I was going to get involved, I think this is a very, very strong same game teaser. You're not supposed to tease college football, but I would definitely entertain taking Hawaii plus 8.5 and also getting the game going over 57.5. Same game teaser. I think this is one that gets into the 60s, and I think Hawaii can cover a touchdown here. But if you wanted to actually ask me for my true play and where as a better I find the value in this spot, 122 on the money line for the Rainbow Warriors. It's not necessarily the long flight and travel spot off of the island, just a very modest travel condition there, as they do look to play in Las Vegas. And I just think that the way this works is, if you guys are unfamiliar to UNLV Rebel games, same thing with the Raiders, right? When they are at home, you get a lot of action in Vegas. The numbers are heavily weighted in the direction of the hometown squad. So there is going to be extra value and unwarranted value. Personally, if this was any other team, that I should say, if Las Vegas and the casinos were built in some other city, I personally think that Hawaii might actually be favorites in this game. So we get a lot of value there if you do like them plus 2.5. You can actually find a plus 3 in the market. But like I said, guys, my lean would be on Hawaii on the money line and the over. Okay, so that'll wrap it up. No bets for me officially. I will have a lot of plays tomorrow in the Saturday college football world. Just because there's college football on a Friday doesn't mean that we actually have to lay something. But like I said, no official plays. My leans, though, I do gravitate towards the over in Florida State and NC State, and I do like Hawaii plus 3 money line. And if you do want to get into a same game teaser for this contest, I would err to the over and Hawaii in that spot as well. Okay, appreciate it, guys. Let's cash some tickets. I do have college basketball picks, 3 plays up available right now. And like I said, make sure you have that notification bell turned on when I do drop my Saturday breakdowns. A lot of action, a lot of implications. It'll be a fun day, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.